Hello Rebrand gang, and welcome to episode 62 of Rebrand Everything, the weekly graphic design show where I redesign the logo of big or famous companies. In today's video, I'm going to be redesigning the TikTok logo, so let's get into it. So TikTok is a super fast growing social media app that is basically an infinite scroll of entertaining videos. Their current app icon looks like this. And for your viewing pleasure, here is their full logo, which includes the icon from the app and alongside this word mark. So we can see from this logo that it's a music symbol with this red and blue sort of old-fashioned 3D glasses effect. The eagle-eyed viewers amongst you will also notice that this effect is on the O in the word mark as well. So for a little bit of background on the TikTok platform, TikTok started life as an app called Musical.ly. It was stylized with like a .ly on the end of that word, and that probably explains why they've kept that music note icon as part of their logo. However, whilst music is obviously a big part of the TikTok app, it's not the only aspect to the app, so I think there is a lot of room for development on the logo in today's vid. Another little side note is that the music note also may be stylized like a lowercase d, and that could perhaps be because the Chinese version of TikTok is actually called Douyin. However, I'm not completely sure whether that holds any water or whether I just made it up, because the actual logo for that Douyin app is obviously in Chinese characters. If you know, feel free to let me know in the comments. Anyway, today I'm going to look at creating some new ideas for the logo, and we're going to start by sketching out some ideas, so let's get into it. So as always, the sketching stage is the messy bit of the process where I just basically draw out everything that springs into my mind. No filter. Some key aspects of the app that I was thinking about while sketching were: 1, the fun nature of the app. Like the majority of content on TikTok seems to be funny and entertaining and pretty light-hearted. So I'm thinking that the overall style, vibe and colour of the logo wants to match this, maybe a little bit better than the kind of harsh black and white and red and blue they've got now. Number 2 is the fast pace of the content. Most videos on TikTok are about 15 seconds long, so I was looking at ways of maybe incorporating a quarter of a circle to symbolise 15 seconds on a clock. Like I say, I'm not sure whether that's going to work as an actual logo, but it's just one of the things I was thinking about. Number 3 is the social media and video aspect. Generally, stuff like play buttons and sharing concepts was something that was like coming through in my sketches. And number 4 is the scrolling aspect. I was looking at ways that we could maybe symbolise the infinite scroll by maybe showing 2 boxes in a shape that implies movement like between them, as if you're kind of scrolling up, like in that transition period between the 2 videos. Just another little idea. So as you can see, I've got lots of other ideas drawn out here as well. Definitely enough to work with. So now it's time to move into Illustrator and see if we can turn any of these into something polished. Please don't forget to press like on this video, it really helps the channel out. Also, as this video is rebranding TikTok, I think it would be rude not to plug my actual TikTok account that I've been posting to pretty regularly. Check that out at Rebrand Everything. I post lots of different content, some rebrand stuff, some general design tips, and also some funny stuff. So yeah, check that out if you're on TikTok. Okay, so as it often is, option 1 is an evolution of the current logo. I started out by drawing out a music note shape in a pretty similar style to the original, but making sure to use the snap to grid to keep everything accurately positioned and sized. Now that I had essentially redrawn the logo that they've already got, it was time to add something to represent video instead of this just being a music symbol. At first I was thinking of adding a play button to the end of the stroke that makes up the musical note, but this wasn't working very nicely as it looked a little bit weird, as the play button looked kind of too small and it was throwing the whole balance of the logo off, suddenly looked too detailed in that small area of the logo when compared to the rest of the icon. So the idea that was developed into the final logo for option 1 was to integrate the play button into the circly bit of the note. I also changed up the font to something a little more soft around the edges, which I feel fits better with the fun nature of the app. The final logo is basically the same concept as the current logo, but it's more clear that it's a video app instead of a music app. Okay then, so for option 2, I wanted to try something a little bit weird. It's basically playing on the fact that tick and tock are only one letter different. and the I is going to become the top part of an exclamation mark, and the O of talk is going to become the dot on the bottom. So basically just to try and make that exclamation mark in the middle, just think that kind of fits with the fun vibe. And as this idea was kind of like going down that fun route, I wanted to play with colours. I tried everything that I could think of, but everything felt a little bit too childish when it was too bright. And then when I changed that to kind of tone it back a little bit, I tried to like use some more pastel-y colours. That felt a little bit too weak, and like it didn't fit with the brand somehow. It just didn't link in my mind. So in the end, I decided to choose two strong colours and make the most of the fact that this logo is viewed pretty much 100% on screen by using a gradient too. And what I mean by that is I'm not going to have loads of trouble when it comes to print, because I doubt they print very much anyway, because they're a pretty modern company and basically everything to do with them is on screen.
3.
So option 3 essentially became a mix of the YouTube logo and the Instagram logo, and you will see what I mean as this develops. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, as TikTok is kind of like Instagram, but then it's addictive, so you end up spending as much time on it as you would do when watching YouTube videos. But I would say that probably when you spend more time on YouTube, it feels like you maybe learn more, because TikTok feels more like an infinite scroll of random funny videos and memes. But yeah, it's a proper time suck. If you haven't downloaded it already, it's worth a look, but just watch out because you do lose hours in there. So although I'm kind of joking, I really did think that a simple play button idea with a free-form spectrum gradient was a good way of showing and like symbolizing the massive amount of variation in the content on TikTok. As the play button looked pretty playful, I wanted to choose a font that was playful too, and the curvy parts of this font, which I believe is called Quattro, looked pretty good, so I ran with it.
4.
So for option 4, I wanted to incorporate some sort of nod to the fact that this is a constant feed of portrait video content. I started out thinking about arrows, but then as I was developing it, it just felt way too bog standard, and it felt more like an instruction manual than a logo for a fun app. The next idea I started to play with was like having a conveyor belt, with the idea that you just keep scrolling and kind of new content keeps showing up. But I couldn't make this work how I wanted to, so the idea kind of developed as I was working on it. In the end, I symbolised the scrolling motion by adding this fun whizzing style graphic and using another colour to show that it's something new being shown, kind of being dragged up from the bottom of the screen. The tall shape of the icon meant I had no real choice other than stacking the words TikTok on top of each other, as when the word mark was all on one line, it made the whole logo a weird shape that would be difficult to fit pretty much anywhere. And what I mean by that is if you're trying to fit it in a circle and you've got this tall shape on the left and then this big long word on the right, it's not going to work very well. When I stacked it, it didn't work too well either, because it just felt like it's such a wide triangle, or the word beneath was too small. So putting TikTok over 2 lines seemed to be the best solution for this. Gotta be honest, I'm not completely sure on this idea, so I'd like to know what you think of it in the comments.
5.
So option 5 is one of those logo ideas that started as a weird idea in the sketchpad. It's basically doubling the current logo and somehow incorporating a T into the stems. I built it using my usual technique, which is basically simple shapes and snap to grid. And then I used a line with a white stroke to flesh out the idea whilst keeping it all editable. Once I had something I was happy with, I expanded everything and then used the Shape Builder tool and the Pathfinder palette to make it all clean vector paths, rather than having the white strokes on some of the lines there, as when I put that on a coloured background it would cause me trouble, so everything's expanded, everything's cut out, so it's all done properly. I tried positioning the icon in the top right of the text and initially thought that that was working quite well, but then when I zoomed out and took a step back and looked at the logo as a whole, I didn't like how suddenly the top right looked so detailed and small when compared to the rest of the logo, so I didn't go down that route in the end. Okay then, Rebrand gang, just before I show you those final options, I want to remind you to press the little button up here and vote for your favourite in the poll, and then head straight down to the comments below and let me know why that was your favourite and what you might have done differently. Remember to press like on the video if you haven't already, and if you want to see videos like this pretty much every single week, then press subscribe and put the bell on so you get a notification and can be the first to view. Okay then, Rebrand gang, let's see them final options.